Flag you. Brittney. Let me see something real quick. Brick! Thank you! Get the hell out of here, yo! Jab stepping, just a brick. Swing and a miss!
Oh!
Yo, I ain't gonna fake it right now.
I can't even get an intro out. Because, guys, it is now confirmed. Brett Griner, I don't know what to actually call them, but it seems like him, Brittney Griner has confirmed that she is a male.
Just when we thought the WNBA drama couldn't get spicier, Caitlyn Clark walks in, Brittney Griner dunks, and the internet collectively forgets how chromosomes work. Now, an old clip is resurfacing, and let's just say it's got more plot twists than a soap opera written by conspiracy theorists. Is Brittney Griner secretly a man? Is Caitlyn Clark starting a reality show? Stick around, because this feud just got dragged into the twilight zone of TikTok detectives and sideline surgeons.
Everybody knows who Brittney Griner is, and if you don't know who Brittney Griner is, she is the WNBA star that we traded a weapons terrorist for about a year ago. And recently, a momentous personal occasion has happened for her.
You're about to be a mom. How is that feeling?
Pops.
Oh, let me get it together. About to be a pops.
Now look, man, it's 2024. I don't care if a woman and a woman want to have a kid together. Good on them. More power to them. But it's just so weird to me. You want your son to call you Pops, and whenever his friends ask, what does your dad do for a living? He's supposed to say, oh, he plays in the WNBA. Now to me,
There's probably one other job that you're about to get into that is really hard and really scary. You're about to be a mom. How is that feeling? Pops. Oh, let me get it together. About to be a pops. Please tell me how exciting that is for you and what you're looking forward to most.
I'm super excited. Well, I mean, I guess I'll just drop it. He's here. So he's here. Yes. 7'8", 24. Yeah, 7 pounds, 8 ounces. Yeah, that's my man.
I love that.
He is amazing. They say, you know, as soon as you see him, it just like everything that you thought mattered just goes out the window. And that's literally what happens. It's kind of sucks because I got to leave, you know?
And welcome to the latest episode of Internet Detectives Lose Their Minds Over Women's Basketball, where the hottest take isn't who scored the most points, but whether Brittney Griner's shoulders violate the laws of physics, and apparently biology itself. Forget climate change or world peace, the real crisis is that Brittney Griner might, hold your breath, male bone structure.
Speculating, is Brittney Griner actually a female or a male? Now, Brittney Griner actually does play in the WNBA, which is a women's basketball association, right? But when you actually listen to Brittney Griner's voice is very, very masculine, okay? Now, Brittney Griner is also a lesbian, and we found out probably about, 3-4 months ago that Brittney Griner's lover, Cheryl, a woman, actually got pregnant.
The internet has collectively appointed itself as the world's foremost gender and anatomy experts, armed with nothing but grainy screenshots, a ruler tool in MS Paint, and the kind of confidence usually reserved for guys who never finished high school but think they can fix your car. Suddenly, shoulder-to-head ratios have become the hottest new forensic science, and Brittney Griner? She's the star witness in the greatest sporting conspiracy of the century.
Man, and it's all because she's confirming seemingly that she fathered her child. So he and his wife have fathered a new baby. The wife just had a baby. And you have to look at this clip to believe what is actually going on. I am confused. Well, I'm not confused, but this may be confirmation now that this is a dude the whole time, and we have been gaslit to believe.
Let's talk about facts, or at least what these experts call facts. Because apparently, if your shoulders are wider than 3 times the width of your head, you've got to be a man. It's not just a broader shoulder. No. That's anatomical proof that Brittney is somehow sneaking into women's basketball with a man's skeleton strapped under her skin like some kind of Jurassic Park reject.
I'm shocked because for a moment here, I thought I was watching BS NBC with the way that this Fox host goes full Rachel Maddow, full Joy Reid on Riley Gaines because Riley Gaines told the truth about Brittney Griner and her being included in the Olympics over somebody like Caitlyn Clark, who definitely, when you look at merit, deserves a spot on the team.
Meanwhile, Science and Logic are sitting in the corner, crying quietly because these keyboard warriors just redefined anatomy using Instagram memes and a few TikTok dance moves. If this was true, every female athlete who dares to bench press more than a sack of potatoes would be forced to switch teams. Serena Williams?
Nothing from the WNBA, absolutely nothing. And Brittney Griner has not commented, which I find significant. I've watched that video countless times, and it sure looks like Brittney Griner says, fucking white girl. Now, I think it was my old friend Jamel Hill, used to work with her at ESPN. I believe Jamel said Griner actually said.
And the cherry on this ridiculous sundae? The so-called feud with Caitlyn Clark, who suddenly went from star basketball player to symbol of the patriarchy's last stand. Caitlyn's just out here playing her game, dropping threes and breaking ankles, and somehow, that's now a gender war front. Because nothing screams feminism like obsessing over a rival's alleged chromosome count instead of, actual basketball stats. Let's be real. The entire thing reads like a fever dream created by a Reddit thread on a slow Tuesday afternoon. The takeaway? Internet people love nothing more than a good conspiracy theory, especially when it involves tearing down a black woman who dominates her sport with a physique that's basically a walking, dunking middle finger to every stereotype out there. What's even funnier is the utter lack of basic awareness these armchair scientists have about how sports actually work. The WNBA isn't some wild west of gender identity. There are rules, there are policies. There are medical professionals who don't just swipe right on your Instagram pics and decide your eligibility. But no, apparently all it takes is a blurry screen grab, some wild math, and a deep-seated need to police.
So guys, the WNBA is trending again. But as per usual, it's not really for any good reason. Brittney Griner is under fire for extremely aggressive behavior portrayed toward Caitlyn Clark, the rookie from last year, the one that has everybody's focus in the WNBA. And this incident has, of course, gone viral online, but also sparked up some other skeletons in Brittney's closet that she probably wants.
Meanwhile, Brittney Griner has been dunking, blocking shots, and making highlight reels for years, quietly shattering expectations and records that these same conspiracy theorists are ready to throw out like last season's sneakers. Because if the internet says she's not a woman, all her hard work is suddenly just a fake. Wow, that's some high-level disrespect wrapped in misinformation and ignorance. But the internet's not done. Oh no, they've leveled up. It's not just about gender anymore. Now it's a full-blown culture war. Caitlyn Clark's every move is dissected as if she's a contestant on Survivor, Patriarchy Edition. Griner's existence is framed as a threat, as if basketball courts are the front lines of an epic gender battle no one asked for. All while actual women's sports struggle for airtime, respect, and pay. But hey, if tearing down one of the most dominant athletes on the planet makes you feel like a champion of fairness, go for it. Just maybe remember that the shoulder synth rule isn't actually written anywhere except in the sacred scrolls of the Twitter outrage machine.
To feminists.
Yeah. Martina Navratilova is a real trailblazer in her own career, of course. I just wish there were more cases of this, because all the time, as we see in the Brittney Griner example, all the time the rhetoric is being ramped up by this sort of pro-trans lobby. We saw yesterday Whoopi Goldberg claiming that the Bible shows that transgender.
And let's not forget the real winners here, the anonymous trolls and keyboard quarterbacks who have become experts in anatomy, gender, and international sports law, all from their mom's basement, fueled by Mountain Dew and a crippling fear of athletic women. So what have we learned today? That nothing says women's empowerment like using junk science and bad Photoshop to police a black woman's body, that the internet's obsession with Brittney Griner's shoulder width is proof we've run out of better things to argue about. And if you want to watch a real basketball game, maybe skip the comments section, because nothing screams fair sportsmanship quite like measuring bones and declaring, nope, your basketball achievements don't count because your shoulders are too broad. Seriously, What's next? Are they going to start weighing athletes in grains of salt to check if they're too salty for women's sports?
Brittney Griner, who was imprisoned in Russia in a man's prison, which I had no idea about, and I think that leads us into our next story. Amy, take us away.
Yeah, so I would never have thought that I would be on here talking about a sports story, okay? Anybody at Valuetainment who knows me knows that I am very much not adept when it comes to the world of sports. But we do have a very interesting intersection right now with Pride Month going on, and so I thought I would bring this story to you guys. There has been widespread speculation for a while now, but it's really kind of come to a head on Twitter over the last couple of days that Brittney Griner, the WNBA's Brittney Griner, is in fact a man.
You're saying it is. Now, if Brittney Griner's shoulder width makes her technically male, then every woman who's ever hit the gym or played a sport is under suspicion. Muscular arms, suspicious. Broad shoulders, double suspicious. And heaven forbid you have the audacity to dunk a basketball. That's basically an admission of being a man. The sports world would turn into a biometric nightmare overnight. Forget skill and dedication. Just bring your calipers and start measuring. Here's the kicker. These critics demand respect for Brittney's identity as a man, but then turn around and tell her she can't play women's basketball. Because, according to them, respecting identity means playing by the right set of rules they pull out of thin air.
So the WNBA says they want to get paid more. They're saying this year they're going to make $1 billion. That's what they're saying, okay? For the first time ever. Now that Caitlyn Clark is hurt for 2 weeks, did you see ticket prices? Insane. Let me read you the ticket prices. After Caitlyn Clark's been hurt for 2 weeks. All right? So let's go through this. Caitlyn Clark absence is having an immediate impact beyond the court. According to data shared by Yahoo Sports via TickPick, prices for 2 specific Indiana Fever away games against the Chicago Sky and the Washington Mystics dropped sharply after Clark was sidelined.
And don't think for a second this is just about sports. It's about common sense versus chaos. This is about people finally saying out loud what everyone's been tiptoeing around. Brittney Griner, with her try-hard talent and yes, her linebacker shoulders, is less of a basketball star and more of a walking billboard for confusion. She's not challenging the status quo. She's just rejecting the concept of self-awareness. Somehow, being taller than average and scowling at the press got rebranded as iconic. The backlash? Oh, it's not panic, it's clarity. People are done pretending her vibe isn't one long, awkward shrug at femininity. Meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark, the actual star of this saga, is stuck in this bizarre circus where her skill and grace are hijacked to make Griner look like some misunderstood murder. Like, here's how a polished, talented athlete looks. Now, compare her to Brittney Griner trying to dunk her way out of a personality deficit. Who belongs, who doesn't? Pretty obvious.
Every time we play her, there's this commotion, like this loud rumbling from the stands. Turns out it's people, thousands of them, just sitting there watching on purpose. It's very disruptive. She says WNBA games used to be a chill, quiet place. You could bring your laptop and relax, maybe even get a little work done. But now it's like there's large gatherings of people watching us from the stands. Some of them are yelling crazy shit about what they're seeing, putting unfair pressure on us to score like we're there for their entertainment. You are. The whole thing is toxic. I saw a guy with his daughter in the crowd, both of them yelling, couldn't hear what they were saying exactly, but it was either my performance or some. Brittney Griner comes out and says, I am so sick and tired of the WNBA. It used to be a peaceful, small little thing. Now there's crowds screaming, hollering. This is disruptive. It's not allowing us to play the game.
And while you're at it, try watching a game without pretending you don't notice the 6'9" power forward with the voice of a baritone opera singer lumbering across the court like a rejected WWE character. It's a lot more entertaining when you stop lying to yourself. So here's the thing about this whole Brittney Griner is a man because her shoulders are wider than a truck grill situation. It's not just believable, it's practically a documentary waiting to happen. It's like someone saw a linebacker in a ponytail and said, yeah, that's definitely the face of women's basketball. And the best part? This debunked conspiracy is somehow less ridiculous than pretending Griner blends in with actual women. Come on, if shoulder width were a gender test, she'd already be drafted into the NFL. It's not just a clue, it's a billboard. And yet, people act shocked when others point out the obvious. that Brittney's very existence on the court looks like someone photoshopped a Y chromosome onto a WNBA jersey. Because apparently the only way a woman can be tall, muscular, and monotone is if she's actually a man with a name change and a dunk. She doesn't just bend the rules, she body slams them, grunts over them, and dares anyone to say otherwise.
Important because, again, what if the inverse had been done? We know the way that the WNBA absolutely loves to virtue signal, as is highlighted by this article here that was put out on May 27th. The WNBA should investigate Brittney Griner's seemingly uttering profanities about white girls.
But let's unpack that for a second. If we take this logic seriously, we're basically saying, if you don't look like the stereotypical version of your gender, you're an imposter. Which, spoiler alert, is exactly what people used to say about literally every minority group in history. It's the oldest trick in the book. If you're different, you're a threat. And here's where the Caitlyn Clark feud comes into play. Because what better way to stir the pot than to put two phenomenal athletes against each other over something so ridiculous? Instead of celebrating women excelling in sports, we're forced to watch this bizarre pageant of who's allowed to be on the court, based on arbitrary physical traits. It's like watching a reality show where the prize isn't a championship, but the right to be considered a real woman. And the judging criteria? Shoulder width, jawline, the volume of your voice. Honestly, it's like a bad makeover episode from a forgotten TV show, except the stakes are way higher. What's truly wild is how many people gleefully jump on this train without bothering to understand the very basics of gender identity or sports regulations. Because yes, there are rules, lots of them, developed by experts who spend years studying physiology, endocrinology, and fairness in competition. These aren't random decisions made by keyboard warriors with a ruler.
Griner literally represents the woke trifecta in sports. She is black, she is gay, and she is a woman. However, I do have some serious questions about that last one, which again, we are going to circle back to here in a little bit. But first, what we're going to do is we are going to react to this incident between Brittney Griner and Caitlyn Clark. We can see here that Riley Gaines posted, Brittney Griner appeared to call Caitlyn Clark trash and effing white girl after failing out last night.
And yet here we are, forced to endure the bizarre hero worship of Brittney Griner like she's some misunderstood icon instead of, well, a walking headline generator with a jump shot. While the internet melts down over whether her shoulders are too muscular or if she's single-handedly redefining the WNBA, spoiler, she's not, we're supposed to pretend this is some deep societal reckoning? Let's not kid ourselves. This circus isn't about empowerment. It's about marketing. It's about milking controversy to make Griner look like a martyr for simply being divisive. Her presence on the court doesn't break barriers, it drags the conversation back to the same recycled drama. And what do her defenders do? They paint every legitimate criticism as hate. They inflate her stats like she's carrying the sport. They act like she's Harriet Tubman in high tops, because rewriting the narrative is easier than admitting she's just not as great as the hype. At the end of the day, Brittney Griner isn't a trailblazer. She's a PR stunt with a layup. And if anyone's still obsessing over her shoulders, maybe it's because that's the most interesting thing about her.